Greetings, Boogie Vans. Zack Attack here, and Playmore is finally back with another Draft League season. It's the P4G, a lower tier draft rank, and boys, it is so exciting to be back here in the booth. Oh, it's my second time technically being in the booth, but it's my first time doing a full season, and I am excited for today because it's actually the General's birthday. That's why I got the party hat. Got the bubby. I want to make sure you got. We were told by John and Tyler last week to bring the party hats and the bubbies. So that's exactly what I did. Oh, and I'm also in the Play More Bubby shirt. Not the new one. We're getting the new one soon, though. We're getting the new one soon. I made sure to get it. But let's go ahead and take a look and see who the opponent is and how the battle goes. Because I'm very excited for this season, and I don't want to stall any farther. So, boys and girls, people of all kinds, let's get started with the first battle with our new competitive team.
It's opening day in the swamp as Playmore has its very first game of a brand new season in the P4G League. We're going against the Miami Dolphins coached by Kyle A. Tyler, it's very exciting to see what this new roster has in store for us.
Ooh.
It's a new roster. It's an entirely new format with this lower tier league. So not only are we not really familiar with what's on our team,
I actually want to go ahead and talk about these Pokemon on the other side and what they can do from what I understand from my standpoint here. Ceruledge. We saw Ceruledge if you guys watched the SPL Season 2 last season. Ceruledge was on the Playmore squad for a little bit, but it didn't do a whole lot. Wasn't brought a whole lot. And times it was, didn't really do much. Ben didn't really figure out how to use it. But it has good things like Bitter Blade, Bulk Up, Poltergeist, things like that. It's a really good Pokemon. I don't know why it's in the low tier format, but I guess it makes sense why it's in the low tier format because it's mediocre defenses. That's probably what it is. And then Hydrapple, Bubby's cousin, formerly known as Dubby. With things like it can run Regenerator, it can be Super Sweet Syrup, Syrup Bomb, Energy Ball, Pollen Puff, Fickle Beam, Earth Power. It gets a lot of good coverage. Garganacl is usually going to be a body press set most of the time. Can be very annoying and stalling with leftovers. It can also even run the Rock Polish Weakness Policy. I've seen it do that before. Bronzong is a Pokemon that's been very good since the beginning of its introduction. Heck, Wolfie VGC used it to win Worlds in 2016. Like, the thing was busted. Araquanid with Water Bubble is also a regen Pokemon. Galarian Wheezing, it could be neutralizing gas, it could be levitate, so there's a lot of things I can do. And Galarian Wheezing being part fairy makes it the bulky fairy option on Kyle's side. Piloswine's going to be the Eviolite user. Hitmonchan's the Rapid Spinner, but it can also do a few other things too, like Drain Punch, Ambipom. I don't expect to see Ambipom in this battle. I won't lie, mainly just because it doesn't have Tail Slap anymore, and also it's not bulky enough to deal with the likes of threats like Blaziken and Rampardos on the other side. Zipstrika, I do expect to see as our other two Terra Captains, mainly because of Sap Sipper and the threat of Superior on the opposing side. And then Bombardier. I do love Bombardier, but not in this matchup specifically. I can't talk right now. I'm like John. I'm stuttering over my own words. But yeah, I do like Kyle's team, especially Ceruledge. But let's see what Team Kyle brings and what Team Ben brings. I'm actually getting kind of excited, and to see what our commentators have to say about this team.
we're not really familiar with anything. Well, I'm not. You've got a little bit more experience with this, but that makes it so much more exciting. We get to see new Pokemon shine in new ways. I can't wait. This is going to be an awesome season.
I couldn't be more excited for this season, and it all begins with this very first battle. If you want to see the more in-depth team builder, that is always linked in the description. But look.
Yeah, the team builders are always going to be linked in the Play More videos. I don't know if I'll link them in mine. You can check the description just in case I do. But they're always going to be on the Play More channel, unlisted in playlists, so make sure you check those out. In case I don't and you want further analysis on these teams that Ben brings, and I also make sure to watch them because they always post them like literally 24 hours before the actual battles, so that way you know beforehand, like me, what the Venerable brings.
At the team we have this week, it's an exciting one. Ooh. Let's see what our opponent brought. And there's our fearless coach.
Hey, he got the Bubby!
And there is no Cerulege.
Wow! Okay, no Cerulege. That's actually shocking. Because Cerulege has been very good into Ben's team over the likes of potentially the Frostlass being there, Avalugg not in its Terra form, Superior is weak to it. I guess it makes sense with the threat of Crocodile and Blaziken, but I'm gonna be honest, Blaziken can't really touch Cerulege. It can't. Because Cerulege is immune to the fighting coverage and it resists fire, and could potentially be running Flash Fire as one of its two abilities. Over weak armor. I mean, it probably would be running weak armor in a matchup like this, but that's not the point. The point of the matter is that there's no Cerulege, so that's one big threat we don't have to worry about. The Piloswine is out there on the other side. Obviously, probably going to be Eviolite, probably. The Garganacl, leftovers, Body Press, probably Iron Defense. It's almost certainly running Salt Cure. Purifying Salt, 100% in this matchup. Zebstrika, Terra Captain. Don't know which Terra it will be, but it's almost certainly running Sap Sipper to counteract Superior. Raquinae, probably. It could be Water Bubble with Sticky Web, but it also could be Regen Assault Vest, so you always have to be careful about that. Hydrapple is probably also going to be Regen. Hitmonchan's the Rapid Spinner. There's a lot of crazy threats on Kyle's side, even without the Cerulege. So I'm excited to see what Kyle's strategy is going into this battle, because Ben's pretty straightforward.
Biggest worry Ben had in general, just surprised was Pokemon allowed to be in this lower tier league. I mean, past that, I don't see any big surprises here, but what's standing out to you?
I'm fascinated to see how Hydrapple is used, because that thing can be really, really strong on the other side. I'm not particularly scared of Zebstrika, but it's worth noting that is the Terra Captain on the other side, and from the notes coming into the battle, from what we've read up on, it can do a lot of different things. I just love the team that we've brought to this battle, especially their Tentacruel. I think Tentacruel Loki might just be the MVP of this battle.
Yeah, especially with Zebstrika, what you mentioned, it's going to have Sap Sipper. It's going to make it very difficult for Superior. Once we get rid of Zebstrika, I think Superior can clean up the battle. That's going to be a thorn on our side. Zebstrika, or Tentacruel will be a thorn on their side. They're going to kind of be back and forth, very frustrating. Do you think Porygon 2 can really slow it up?
I think it'd be so annoying.
Yes, it can, and it will be. I love seeing the Tentacruel lead. But before we get into the battle, Tyler, exciting news! Play-more.store. We have a brand new merch drop for all of you Play More fans. An incredible brand new shirt with the one and only Bubby on it. We got a brand new sweatshirt for all of you Play More fans. Have it boldly across the chest. We have a new restock of the Bubby plush. But that is something you can check out after this battle. It's time to get into week one goodness. With Araquanid starting, Tyler, I don't think that shiny bug can do much to our shiny jellyfish.
I would counter by saying I don't know if it can do quite literally anything to this jellyfish.
Fair. My bad. When you're right, you're right.
I don't. I mean, it's got the webs. It can slow us down, which is big because we've got one of the faster teams in the format, as we've talked about a couple times. But this is why Tentacruel is here. It's going to wall off most of what's on the other side, and in a lot of situations, you're just going to have to make some kind of switch.
Jake Paul.
All right.
All right then.
Certainly some kind of switch.
That is very interesting.
Okay, so Toxic
was going to be our switch into Hitmonchan often. Now, this is just telling us that a Thunder Punch is on the way, or at least he's going to try to scare us out with a Thunder Punch. But getting a Toxic off on that is not a bad thing at all. Now,
Definitely
I do
not. I like
switch.
that.
We have the Rocky Helmet. You know, there's not going to be easy recovery with the Tentacruel. But I feel really, really good with this first turn. To get a Toxic on this thing, really make sure it can't stick around too much. And Tyler, if it does want to go for Drain Punch at some point in the battle to gain health, we got Liquid Ooze Rocky Helmet on this Tentacruel.
That's gonna
Jake
be
Paul,
insane.
not gonna last too long.
Flip turn. I like that.
The only thing that
I like that
worry here is if it does try to get a bulk up off the switch, but we'll see if they go with the hard Thunder Punch, which I think you'd almost have to in that situation. Love Flip Turn on Tentacruel, by the way. We talked about that during our draft analysis. Makes it so much more viable.
Earthquake?
Or an Earthquake, okay.
That did nothing.
And you were saying you're a little worried about the bulk up, which is fair and makes sense, but let's not forget that we have a giant table on our side, which isn't worried about a single physical offensive move. It doesn't matter. And now Ben can immediately Terra up. What is this thing going to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No Captain
I don't
Avila.
know that there's not particularly much on the other side that can do anything, but because of that, I do expect Ben to be a little cautious with the table because he knows if the especially offensive Pokemon are chipped away or out of the equation, nothing's touching Avalugg at all. So he might want to be a little careful with it here early on. So I'm not surprised that this is the play.
But I absolutely understand what you're saying there with him being careful. I think that's one way to put it. I'm going to be a little bit kinder to the coach and say aggressive, knowing that Hitmonchan can't do anything, make the switch, predicting that switch out. And now we're back at turn one, which we won handedly. Like, we got a Toxic on whatever we wanted.
Yeah, let's just do it again.
Let's do it again. What's he going to do?
There's no reason on the other side to eat this.
Sit back and
well, the Garganacl.
He's not boxing a 60-year-old man.
There is one prediction that could happen here, and I'm going to call it right now. Kyle could switch into either a predicting Toxic could switch into the Hitmonchan again because it's already poisoned, or switch into the Garganacl, assuming it has Purifying Salt, which will negate any status moves. So that could come into play here.
Today, he's going against Tentacruel. That's a matchup he wants no part of. He does not want the smoke with Tentacruel. We all know that. So let's see what Kyle does here.
So did Kyle have Tentacruel in the SPL Season 2? This is kind of funny.
It's either that or Jake Paul again. Those are literally the only options.
Garganacl, and Toxic.
I did forget.
We forgot about this guy and his salt.
Well, he's got the most complicated moves and abilities. They have so many different effects, but the main thing with this ability that I actually care about is you can't status it, which does make it very frustrating, and I do think this Pokemon will be a thorn in our side the entire battle.
Flip turn?
Flip turn, just so nice to have on Tentacruel, but it's going to be interesting to see what Ben wants to bring in against this Minecraft-looking dude, as we're going to see it a lot this battle.
Superior is the switch every single time.
Yeah.
I don't think that he wants Salt Cure doing much damage, and the Covert Cloak.
Covert Cloak protects it. Yeah, Covert Cloak protects it from Salt Cure chip.
Every time.
And it's leftovers. Okay, it is leftovers.
Superior was going to be that counter.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. I'm already thinking too many steps ahead of the battle. I've looked at the matchup so many times, and I saw Covert Cloak, and this is what I saw. Garganacl into Superior into Zebstrika. Garganacl into Superior into Zebstrika. And it's just going to happen over and over and over again as we really need this stupid Zebra gone to be able to get those Leaf Storms off. But we can whittle it down, and Zebstrika is not something that's going to be able to heal up throughout the battle. So I think we win in this exchange every single time, but I do suspect that this little guy will be a thorn in our side, Tyler. There's a lot of thorns in my side. Did our opponent bring an annoying team? Yeah, but so did we. This
Speaking of annoying, my word.
I mean,
Oh!
could be a lot
I did
worse.
say we had to be on the lookout for that, Tyler. Was
Overheat.
our opponent smart enough to make sure we wouldn't get the special attack boost with download? They were. That's great prep on their side. Would have been so nice to catch them slipping just a little bit. But now we get a very free switch into Crocodile, as there's nothing Substrike is going to be able to do to that thing.
And the good news with Porygon, we mentioned this in the draft, but just to bring
Hey,
it up again,
with
if you don't know why this thing is
claws.
suddenly good, a Violite makes it a defensive tank to where we can just throw it out over and over again. And specifically against Zebstrika, there's going to be very little that they can do to whittle away a Porygon 2.
Crocodile.
Now, this is a pretty interesting situation.
Okay.
You know, bricked up over there could definitely do some damage to Crocodile. There's no question there, but getting Stealth Rocks up, yeah, that is
Yeah,
what
that-
Ben
that-
is
I
going
love
to
that
go for.
weapon
It just
Croc.
feels like this is the opportunity to do that. There's already been a lot of switching.
Especially with
You know, we
the
don't
Intimidate.
want Crocodile to take this damage, but I think it's worth it. I think it's a smart thing to do, and I mean, Hitmonchan would be the way to get rid of hazards on the other side of the field, and that thing's already toxic. We're not worried about it,
Ooh.
and the switch was made. Fantastic play by Ben.
5 throats. I dropped it.
Okay, I was wondering who Five Throats was.
And there's the rocks
What's
from
up,
Croc.
brother? Carry on.
just an insane team on the other side.
No,
This
we
is how you
have
start a
already
season.
had.
Okay.
We already had. And this is why I love the Rock.
Probably
We've had at least one pair of
generated.
boots were knocked off,
Yes.
and I would suspect there are at least
Going
a couple
from
of pairs
knockoff
on the
here
other
to
side
knockoff
because our
whatever
team, when
item
you look at it, you see 2 or 3
I got
different
the
stealth
house.
rock options been
Yeah.
made sure to draft hazard heavy, but it's what makes Crocodile, who on the surface is a great attacking Pokemon, can be such a great support Pokemon. In weeks like this where the set is not built towards being the one that's going to pick up a lot of kills, it can be out there for a lot of different utility.
And this is a Pokemon that we really talked about before we jumped into the game. Hydrapple could be one of the scariest things the opponent could bring. So I really do understand Ben staying in, getting that knockoff off to get rid of
Okay.
Assault Vest.
Yachi Berry.
Okay.
Fickle Beam.
And I think we should
Oh, we
be
got the 30%
able,
boost.
I was going to say we should be able to live that one easily, but Tyler, what is it, a 30% chance to double its attack?
Yeah, they got it on the first one. As we know, if you're a long time viewer of the channel, if you're a first time viewer of the channel, doesn't
Long
change the
time.
facts. We
Long
are the
time.
luckiest team in draft. If there's a team that can go our way,
That is such a
it's
lie.
going to every single
It's the opposite.
time. Yeah.
All of Thunder Wave paralysis from
Yeah.
last season.
Not ideal, and it does put us in a tough spot.
And,
now, to
okay,
be fair, I
he
think
should
Ben
have
was
sacked me
fine
for
going
now.
for knockoff and
Yeah.
then just, a grass move taking us out. I think this is a trade he was comfortable with. Hydrapple's going to be incredibly frustrating. We got some good information with it. We can take that thing out with a single Ice Beam at this point. I'm pretty confident, but we do want to make sure we can keep rocks up on our, opponent's side of the field. If we lost Crocodile just to knock off one item and for rocks to get spun away immediately, wouldn't be my favorite. If we can keep rocks up successfully for the battle, fantastic, way to lose a first Pokemon. And I feel like we're in a really good spot. Now, I feel like this is a no-brainer situation. Like, you have to bring in Porygon 2. If we don't bring it in here, we are in trouble. But the question here is going to be,
And that's
what
how we
are
get the
we
special
predicting?
attack boost. So that's big.
Yes.
Ice Beam is pretty obvious
I-
here because
I'm with you here in terms
of
of
it losing
Ice
the
Beam's
Yachi
obviously
Berry,
the very
but
safe
there's
play.
always could
Do
be
you
a prediction
bank on
the
that
other side.
Hitmonchan and try to go for a Psychic? I don't think that would be their switch. So Ice Beam probably the safe move here.
Okay, they do switch.
And now it's
That
going to
makes
hurt
sense.
my feelings when they
That
go into
definitely makes a lot of
Hitmonchan.
sense. They don't want
Well,
to lose
and
that
if they
Oh, there it is. Breaks
He's
out.
back.
Better.
Yeah, he's back.
There's our guy.
Yeah, it's hey,
Don't get you
your
bricked
your
up.
guy.
Yeah, your guy, Tyler. Your guy.
Hey,
Oh, that did
your-
nothing.
Your guy. You
That
can hold
did
that one. No.
nothing.
Whew, so, he's back. Now, Hitmonchan, if they do bring it in safely, we can always bring in Tentacruel, and then the Rocky Helmet damage will basically kill off the Hitmonchan. Between the Toxic, Rocky Helmet, they would get rid of rocks, but that thing would be basically gone. So it would work out, and it's almost like we would be losing the Crocodile to get rid of the Hitmonchan, kind of force it into a bad situation. So I'm not too worried about letting it come in for free. But as this battle progresses, I mean, Kyle's team is really
Recover.
to break through. And with
Rude.
that recover, I just don't know what the early game strategy is to get rid of Mr. Minecraft over there.
I'm going to make a bold statement.
Okay.
And I know I said this is my guy. I'm not the biggest fan of Garganacl. Okay? Just in terms of style, I'll be honest, I'm a very offensive guy.
Yeah.
This is the opposite of that. It's built to just sit there and not move. We're going to have to make it move, and that's why this is our counter. If nothing else, Superior, great Gen 5 mod, by the way, is going to make this thing do something.
I said it earlier. I've been expecting this for, ever since I saw the team preview. We go from the Minecraft to the snake to the zebra. Now, what Ben does this turn could break that little chain, but I don't think there's a question of what's about to happen here.
As much as we'd love to set up the Leaf Storm spam right now,
I think we might just win the battle if we were able to do that, if I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I would love that.
That'd be so cool. That would be awesome.
Great. What a birthday present for the Mineral. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's just win it right now.
You brought it up, and that's the scary
But you can't be
thing,
hyper-aggressive
this is
this early
the
in the battle.
birthday boy
You
battle
can't be
of the
hyper-aggressive.
birthday boy
I'm putting the pressure on the coach.
Woo, the birthday pressure is...
Week 1.
The PM7
It's
guaranteed.
Birthday. We've got Jake Paul on the other side.
Yeah, no, I'm buttoning the soup. It's a big occasion. This is
I'm
important.
not, I'm not wearing the
I
suit.
mean,
I
it's not as big as a championship, but it's number 2.
I need to
You
wear a
can't
suit next
lose
time.
The birthday boy battle, but
That's what I'm saying,
the
guys.
stupid
John, that's what I'm
zebra's going to
saying.
make this
I almost
very
said Tyler.
frustrating. And as much as I would love for Ben to be able to go for synthesis, here we can't with the overheats. We need to at some point heal up. But if we ever heal up knowing this Zebstrika is going to switch in, then it gets in for free. At some point we do win this exchange, but it is a little frustrating. And Tyler, do you see anything right now that's popping up to you of how we could possibly break through this annoying core, or is that still a mystery? Is it shrouded?
Well, to me, the breakthrough comes with the fact that realistically, Zebstrika has not been able to do much. And so each time it's come out, it's just taken a free hit from our side.
Yeah.
So we've been whittling away at it. And while the status quo is slow, Ben seems to be content. We've seen the same sequence twice now. Every time it happens, we've gotten damage off on Zebstrika, and the punishment has been very little outside of having to look at this dude some more. So if it just keeps repeating that way, the end result is Zebstrika is gone. Now, would it take a while as things have gone? Probably. I prefer to speed it up a little bit, but so far there haven't been much repercussions with Zebstrika out there.
I think the big question now is who's going to strike first? Who's going to break this chain?
Somebody's going to have to.
And I completely forgot. I talked about how we had Porygon 2 to soak up hits from Zebstrika separately. But, I mean, that's a part of the chain. It's not 3 Pokemon. It goes Minecraft, Snake, Zebstrika, Duck. It just always happens.
Oh, body press.
Wow.
That
is
did not
where
do much.
A
Wow.
super effective move on this little duck, and it did nothing.
Get used to that, Playmore fans. The other teams may hate us, but that duck's
I
going to
love
be quack
Porygon
into the
so
bank.
much.
It's expecting a big contract after this season, but hey, it's a little
not the
early
NFL.
to count numbers. We got to bring in the snake here because this is just what we do. Now, the unfortunate thing is we have to go for synthesis, so we're not going to be able to get damage on the
We'll get our
Zebstrika.
free damage in the cycle. I'm really interested here to see what the other team does. This is a completely new situation, foreign to us. I'm fascinated to see what the move is on the other side. John, as a draft league, I would venture to say pro. With all your experience. What do you see happening here?
Well, Kyle he's no slouch. He's been in the game for a long time. He knows that he cannot keep this cycle going. And as soon as Ben shows synthesis, I mean, this cycle is over for our opponent. He cannot just keep bringing in Zebstrika. So something new has to happen. He still had an advantage, right? He has more Pokemon than we do. In theory, he's winning the battle, but we can see the cracks start to form. So I'm not entirely sure what his strategy is going to be to break this, but I can't
Switches
imagine we see Zebstrika switched in
And
more
Arachnid.
than one more time in this situation. And here we do see the Arachnid, a really, really good switch in, as it's going to force us to change up in a pretty big way, and we cannot keep Superior in here. Now, the beauty for us is we have a pretty well-constructed team, and I think we just bring in Jelly Belly over there.
Yeah, that should be its name, as we've discussed with Ben.
It was a long
Jelly Belly,
conversation.
Jelly Beans.
Yeah, there was a lot of discussion about that. But I think when we talk about one team had to do something to break this up, I think a lot of that pressure was on the other side. I think because of how things were going with the Zebstrika, Ben perfectly content to just keep whittling it down the way that it was. So I saw that breaking point come from the other side, and now we see how Ben responds. Because even though he's kind of having to be reactive here, it still feels like the way that this is all played out has put him on the front foot.
Yeah.
Because we have seen this matchup many times before.
Oh,
And the really interesting thing is
A
it's not
double
just that you
switch.
switch Zebstrika in on the Superior. Zebstrika outspeeds Superior.
Yeah.
So you also need that thing to prevent the Superior sweep. Now, I don't fully understand the switch into Zebstrika here. It was a really good play. It worked out, but any little damage that this thing takes is so scary for our opponents, as it's just getting closer and closer to getting out of there. Now, it's a really good matchup for him against Tentacruel. We don't have a ground type, but what is this thing doing to the Rubber Ducky? Now, Tyler, I've used Zebstrika a lot in the lower tiers. Back in the 5th gen days, I know you loved those days. This thing just is not that powerful. This is going to do -5 damage, and it's we can recover that up like it's nothing. Zebstrika is really good for the speed. It's really good for the Sap Sipper. It's great for just the end of the battle cleanup. But mid-game, it cannot break through. But I stand corrected in a few ways. It did allow him to bring in the Hitmonchan, and now the ball is in our opponent's court. Is he going to go for Drain Punch, Bulk Up, or Thunder Punch? What are you expecting, Tyler?
I personally
Rapid
am
spin,
cheering for Drain
obviously.
Punch because I want the strategy with Tentacruel to pay off.
Yep.
I wouldn't be Thunder Punch.
Oh,
is
Rapid
super
Spin.
safe.
Duh.
Yeah, that would probably be the that would be. Remember that's a move. Yeah, cut out the discussion. We're gonna go from. Okay, John, just go ahead. Nobody will ever see this. Go ahead and predict that it's going for Rapid Spin in 3, 2, 1.
I'm pretty sure our opponent is going to be going for Rapid Spin here. It's very important to get rid of the Stealth Rock, so Zebstrika can be switched in freely and last longer into the battle.
It wasn't edited
I
out.
agree with that fully. That was some
It's so
great right off the top of the old noggin analysis. That's our guy.
Now, a Thunder Punch, a well-timed Thunder Punch could be huge, but Tentacruel's biggest job at this point is dealing with the Hitmonchan. So I think Rapid Spin is the best and really only play that's going to help him long term.
Yeah,
And that's what we do see.
And we called that.
I gave you far too many
Rocky helmet,
options.
yeah.
Far too many options. That did not include that one. But as I did say earlier, because we got the Toxic on this thing, it sucked that we lost Crocodile and Rocks are not going to be up for the battle.
left.
But Hitmonchan is in a really, really bad position. It can't heal up with Drain Punch here. There's a good chance we can maybe not take it out, but basically leave it mostly dead with Sludge Wave. I think it makes the most amount of sense. It looks like Ben is
I'm with
going
you on
for
that.
a calc here. We have stepped up our game this season, so we actually can do some calcs.
Yeah, we
on
can
what-
access it too. I mean, we're on the same page.
Ooh, okay. Thunder Punch. It does look like if Ben is correct, what is anticipating 72 to 85%. I do think we live that every single time.
Ooh,
And with the Sword
an
Stance, this was the
SD,
correct
aggressive.
move. You know you can live a Thunder Punch. You can't worry about that. And with the with the Sludge Wave and the
Okay.
Toxic, this thing has one more hit. We have
Wait,
Liquid
Toxic might
Ooze.
just kill it here, right?
Unfortunately, we are probably going to lose Tentacruel in this spot.
Let's go!
The Toxic
Jake
damage!
Paul
Okay,
falls!
unbutton for the birthday.
Yes!
Having fun.
All right, we're breaking
feeling
through.
loose.
We're breaking
This
through.
is how we break through, Tyler. Wow. Look at us.
Winner.
Come on, Bubby!
Counter.
I know you're not battling
And
today,
that's
Bubby,
what makes
but
Tentacruel. I mentioned it coming into the battle. To me, felt like the MVP of this, just because of one. It's such a tank but two, it's such a scary Pokemon, both defensively and the fact that it's still got some usefulness on it offensively.
Yeah.
There was no
80
scenario there
zero.
where Hitmonchan escaped. Tentacruel has already done, even at this point, you stamp it, it's already done everything it needs to do in this battle, and I don't think it's done.
We live any hit from the Zebstrika here. Now, we don't necessarily need to take the damage, but I don't see... Now, it could just go for a free Volt Switch to get damage off and bring something else in. And if they did that and then brought in the Minecraft dude, we can't Toxic it, so... It could be worth switching, but knowing that we can soak up a hit here, it could be worth just soaking it up, seeing what Kyle wants to do on the other side and getting some damage. And that looks like what we're going to see here.
Yeah, and realistically, it still can't do too much damage.
No.
Tentacruel is such a bulky Pokemon.
And we're seeing two not similar Pokemon, but in terms of speed and not a ton of special attack. Actually, yeah, they're both speedy, and they both have 80 special attack. They're just, the damage output is not there. Tentacruel able to pick up, the kill, or help pick up the kill on the Hitmonchan with the Slud Wave and the Toxic there. But things have to get weaker for these Pokemon to really thrive. Obviously, there's a difference in investment. Tentacruel not being super specially invested, Zebstrika being specially invested,
The
but
Araquanid is water
want
bubble
to use these things to pick things
and
up
not
late
regen.
in the battle. I feel really good about our positioning, because at some point that
Okay.
Zebstrika is going to be off the field, and then that Serperior is going to run loose. I also really like that we may be able to get a free Toxic off here. Is Kyle really going to want to switch in? I don't know why he had to name that thing Bricked Up, but is he really going to want to switch in?
That's my guy! That's my guy!
On a possible Surf prediction? Because what the heck is this thing doing to Tentacruel? As you said, nothing.
In theory, and this could be a really bad calculation on my part, but because the thing that makes the Araquanid scary is that ability that doubles the power of water-type moves.
Yep.
It looks like it's at least a little bit of a roll. If it wanted to stay in here and go for liquidation on the Tentacruel, if things align with what Ben thought, there's a 6% chance it would have gotten the kill. I personally wouldn't take those odds. It looks like that was the choice on the other side. This was the right play, as much as I hate to see Bricked Up back out there on the field again.
Yeah, I don't want to see anyone Bricked Up out on the field. It's just not what I was hoping to see this game, or any other games this season, I'll be honest. And now we're stuck in the same cycle, but it's a cycle, Tyler, that we're going to end up winning. Superior was able to heal up last time, and at this point, I can do a little... I'm letting it go to my head, the fact that I have the damage calcs at my fingertips. Is there a chance Dragon Pulse knocks it out? Yeah. Dragon Pulse would knock the Zebstrika out, and we haven't shown Dragon Pulse. It'd be foolish for us not to have it, but you have to go for it here.
Oh! The Veneral making a spicy prediction.
And there was no hesitation. I've said this before, I'll say it again. I love the zero hesitation moves from Ben, because that lets me know he's cooking, and he's thinking a move ahead at every turn. And when he gets into that mode, he's relaxed. That's our coach. He's ready to go. He is settled in.
See, I like the prediction, but I do not think staying in could work in any situation for Kyle. Now, switching into Zebstrika also does not work. I think he's in a losing spot here. So that's why I'm worried. I like the prediction from Ben, but what could this Pokemon do to Superior here? We've already seen Body Press does nothing. We have the Synthesis, and...
wow.
Go for Salt Cure, but he stayed in. He stayed in, and that is a big, big mistake. Fantastic move by Ben.
That was a fine
I stand
move.
corrected. He could stay in and go for that Iron Defense. The problem is, though, if Ben had just gone for the Dragon Pulse and then gone for Leaf Storm...
The same thing happens.
I still don't... Fantastic
Not
play
even
by
Dragon
Ben.
Pulse,
He
because
does
you
not
know it
lose
kills regardless.
by going for it. It absolutely helps him a lot in the spot. It just, in my mind, did not make sense for the opponents. But one of the things I really loved when I played competitive Pokemon, Tyler, was reading the opponent, playing a game like this long enough where you could get a feel for how they wanted to play, and he, at the perfect time, just could tell what Kyle wanted to do. Nailed it. No notes here. The only issue is he's going to get a maximum of 1 kill because Zebstrika is still around and still outspeeds with that overheat. And I have to assume overheat does have a chance to kill, I think. It would do, it does 214 to 254.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, and you don't stay in on that. But a kill is a kill.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we are fully in the advantageous position.
No freaking way. No way. He's sacking it off?
Hold me back. Oh, my God. Tyler.
Yep. Yeah.
Tyler.
Was he trying to get a prediction on it?
The birthday boy. It's a birthday boy bash.
I'd love to say that he fully expected that, but he looked just as shocked as we did.
He's so much more shocked than we did. So now here is a question, right? We are at +2, which is very exciting, but the Araquanid, he was a little bit quicker. I couldn't sound smart. I don't know if we can take it out here. And it doesn't look like Ben wants to risk it at all.
I don't think he wants. I don't think it's worth the risk now.
No, because we should be able to win the game with Superior if we play our cards right. And we can't risk a miss, right? If we miss a Leaf Storm here, it is absolutely over. But that's a switch in there. Maybe I was completely wrong. Kyle was in such a bad spot trying to maneuver with that Zebstrika. Just going for the safe Leaf Storm probably works 9 times out of 10, because what's Zebstrika doing to us anyways?
Yeah.
My bigger point was just our opponent could not win that spot. Nope, they could not.
Nope.
And that's huge. We've talked about throughout this battle the importance of Zebstrika, particularly.
Is he specs? He specs.
That's
so
specs
cool.
damage. Holy crap.
At this point, we mentioned earlier we want to Leaf Storm willy-nilly. If we're able to get rid of Araquanid, and even when it's still in there to a degree, there's a little bit of gamble if you want to, but we're in willy-nilly Leaf Storm City.
Man, when I was looking at the teams back and forth, I really looked at Avalug's. Wow, this seems like such a great Pokemon to bring, this, that, and the other. Oh, it could Terra into water. That's going to be great for Araquanid. I kept looking at 50 special attack, but then Water Bubble. I was like, I don't think this is going to do what we want it to do against that thing. Seeing that Hydro Pump, it brings Avalug a little bit more into question. Obviously, the big difference here is if we saw... what is it, Mr. Bitterblade? Is that what it uses, the Ceruledge?
Yeah,
It changes things a lot, but it is so odd to have a Pokemon that all it does is hit you with water moves. We have a giant table that turns into a water table to take hits.
All right, because we have Toxicon finally.
I do really like that little tech, but at this point, is there anything you're really worried about outside of Hydro Pump just constantly hitting?
I don't think so. I think at this point for Ben, it is all about setting it up for that ending sequence, which is likely going to be Superior coming in and cleaning up.
I think now you
everything
bring
now
in...
just comes down to making sure that happens cleanly.
We may have missed it. Is this a choice specs or Araquanid? Is that what Ben was getting very excited about? I was so focused on other shenanigans.
Who's coming in?
I think that probably was some sort of crazy choice specs, because that did a butt ton of damage.
It did a lot.
Yeah, it did. It did what the no one would say butt ton. I'll be honest.
Yeah, we don't say butt ton. No.
Come on, Bubby.
But we'll take
Hold
the
me.
butt ton of special
Hold me,
attack
buddy.
moves from what's virtually
Hold
a
me.
nasty plot combined with an attack there.
Yeah, and one thing that Ben did say in the notes is after he gets a Leaf Storm up, he should be able to kill with a Dragon Pulse on this thing. So that is what he said in his notes. I mean, I could check really quickly. I'm not sure if that is still the case.
Yes. It's hard to tell with predictions, or at least with the counts from my end. I'm an amateur. We don't know exactly how much health is on the other side. You kind of look at the bars and make sure they look the same. It could be a roll.
Yeah.
Depending on exactly how much HP is there. And in this position, again, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben doesn't want to risk it, because if you save Superior, more than likely you win this battle.
Well, and that's something that is really big in draft league. It's not always the most exciting to hear, like, in a live commentary as someone's debating back and forth. But in this situation specifically, something that you don't really think about a
Pickle
lot
bean.
in Pokemon is
Oh, the
damage
all
rolls.
out.
Now, that is infuriating.
That-
That's so infuriating. But
What was
every
the
time
30% chance?
every time you go for an attacking move, it's going to be doing a range of damage. It's not just a set amount. So when it comes to a competitive battle like this and everything is so specific, I mean, that Dragon Pulse was going to be doing between, 330 to 390. That is an absurd range. A difference of 60 back and forth. And when you're really going back and forth trying to figure out, are you going to be able to kill? Where is the bar? All of these different, things of mental math. Part of the beauty of Pokemon is just having to guesstimate rather than knowing. Because once you know those itty-bitty details, it gets a lot more frustrating. Some of my final battles in Draft League were decided on damage rolls, and I'd had enough of it. I had it up to here with losing on a 70% chance. And it's like, I did 229 instead of the 230 I needed. This was fun. And I could say all of that at this point because, Tyler, I'm feeling pretty good about the position we're in. Ben is really playing it safe to make sure he can clean up at the end. And at this point, he now has an unfortunate new objective, which is bring in table, spin in circle.
Yeah, I think we want those webs gone because the big thing with Superior is it's a fast, slithery snake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you
That's why
put
the
the sticky
tables-
web up on
Just
Superior,
absorb it.
then
Now,
you
this is
just
a little
win because of
scary
the
because
speed
we've
boost.
seen
The
see
contrary.
what this Araquanid can do. But if it's choice log like you mentioned earlier,
Then, yeah,
then that's not as much of a concern, and it's just clean this thing up.
Burt.
Yeah, and
Oh, and
that's
the
definitely
Paddle
something
Swan.
we'll have to talk with Ben at the end of the battle.
Hey, there's
It's-
Bert. To see Bert. What you been doing, buddy? Just hanging out in the back. First time we've seen Bert. It's been 30 minutes. Good to see you, pal.
We may have overlooked things with Tentacruel, but at that point,
That's the Sesame
Tentacruel
Street
kind of
reference?
lost its use in the battle. The thing with our table is
Rock.
there's nothing in the world that
Total
Piloswine
Heads
can
and
do with
Rock,
the table, which
like
is my
it's
feelings.
fun.
I love Piloswine, but this is a really, really bad spot for Bert to be in. There's
Rocky
no
helmet.
You could say that
Not a
Bert
violate?
did really just turn the table.
Alright, Tyler. Alright, you. He's bowing.
Be here next week, same time. Subscribe.
Yeah, this is why they pay you
Hit
the
that
big
notification.
bucks.
Hit that bell to get notifications.
You heard him. Subscribe and hit bell notification.
Now,
Oh!
That's a heavy take.
Oh, that was a
that makes
crit.
more sense.
All right.
You rarely see a Piloswine without the Violites. So, I'm not used to seeing damage like that, but considering that our table does have Recover, we are just completely free to do this. And now that we got that very lucky crit, hey, the Fickle Beams were fickle, but now with that crit, we're going to be able to go for the Rapid Spin. We're going to take out the Piloswine.
Endure.
Okay?
Why?
Never mind.
Bert wanted to hang out just a little bit longer.
I guess. Oh, I guess because
I
of Rocky
get it.
Helmet
It took
shift.
this long for Bert to get to come out in the battle. If I'm Bert, I'm doing whatever I can to make sure I get at least one more turn.
I don't know what he's cooking, though. I have no idea what he's cooking.
Now
over
that
there.
I don't know either. Besides just letting us get a little bit more Bert.
I do like Bert. I do love the yellow shiny. I'm having a lot of fun with Bert on the field. There's way too much Garganackle. Not enough Bert. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta Rapid Spin here? I mean, unless we're predicting a switch, possibly. Like, the indoors to make sure this thing can stick around a little bit longer and switch into something. But, I mean...
You go.
Yeah, I mean, if we outsped after the Rapid Spin, I guess...
I
it
probably would
didn't
have
matter at
gone
all
for like
anymore.
recover
Hi,
I guess
Bert.
there
there
could have also
because
been
Bert can't really
the
touch
ability to
Avalon,
recover up and then Rapid Spin.
and then
but
Rapid Spin
I
again, so
think
you can get rocks with
we're
terrible
in a
acid or
spot
whatever.
where we win the game if we let the table
I
die.
think in that position, it's just as much as we love Bert and the 45 seconds we got to
Mhm.
chat with it just needed to go. It doesn't really do anything for the other side by letting it stick around if you do, but there's no punishment there for just taking it out.
And what we've seen in this battle, something that we haven't seen much in the first two seasons for Play More, of, the style of play that I'm accustomed of seeing from Ben. It's something that I would do often where you have the win, maybe not in the bag, but you're putting the win in the bag, and you just go into safe mode. Pokemon is a game where Fickle Beam can be the fickliest fickle thing and just do a billion damage over and over and over again. Things can always go poorly. If you have a chance to lose to a crit, you could just lose to a crit. It's happened to me before. It'll happen to someone again. So Ben has really been playing his cards as perfectly as he could, setting himself up so that no crazy things can go on. And with the sticky webs, like we saw, he had to be very careful because sticky
If
webs
he's
could
going
have
to tear
actually
water,
ruined
why
his
not
plans of
tear
playing it
blast?
safe.
Probably
There
do
was a
more
chance he
damage.
may have been able to win with Superior
Well,
earlier. If sticky webs go
I
up,
guess
he
Body
could
Press is good
absolutely lose this
defense.
game.
Maybe Body
So
Press
by
would do
playing
more,
it
but I
safely,
thought
but
Terra
also
Blast
keeping
still do more
the
because of
table
the Terra
in his
Boost and
back
Terra
pocket
Blast.
to make sure that the webs just could not go up easily, he really put himself in a fantastic position. And as long as the webs do not go
Goodbye,
up,
Avalog.
we are in a really good spot. And I'm pretty sure, Tyler, we're going to see the Slippery Snake, hiss, hiss, hiss. We're going to see a Leaf Storm, leaf.
It's time for a Leaf Storm willy-nilly.
Yeah, now
That's what we've been
Superior
waiting
just
for.
cleans up.
Gosh, that was such an epic
Why
Terra
is he
turn, too.
debating Blaziken?
Or
Ben, what are you
Marco,
doing?
does he just want to give Marco some kills for fun? He's bobbing his head. He's doing a little dance, little birthday dance.
That was
He's doing it.
Ben's biggest notes on Marco after the draft. He thought that this is a Pokemon that could be in contention to be the kill leader this season. We haven't really seen that in this battle. So, just a little chance to show it off.
Do we need to investigate our coach, though? It feels like stat padding. Have we... He's going for overheat. He could miss this.
Don't miss. I want this to be cool, so hit. I'm only doing this because I think it's cooler.
Now, I'm not saying that any
Wow.
two owners might have taken the over on kills for Marco
At least he's honest.
and asked for a favor, but I may or may not have slid the Beneral one of my trusty silver dollars.
Oh,
No, Tyler!
Tyler.
Just for this
I don't think you can do
magical occasion. Wait, no, it's
Tyler, why would you do
that?
It's not.
I didn't ask him
There's
to
no
lose.
regulation in Draft League.
No, where's the draft league betting commission? I hope there's
Okay,
not.
well, at least the
You can
overheat
tell.
didn't miss.
Yes, that was great to see. Just from a pure team standpoint, great team play. Yes.
I'm going to remember this come award season. There was no reason not to bring in Superior.
Well, it's all about team morale. You want everybody feeling good after week one. Like everybody
Yeah.
contribute and make one of the two owners some money. Not that part. No.
Yeah, come on, man. Come on. Now, the thing here is we do have the ability to go for the boosted acrobatics now. So that,
Acrobatics should be the
either
play
way,
here.
it worked.
The acrobatics 2
And
shots.
I guess because
100%.
of Regenerator, to be fair, something I did not think about, we probably would not have been able to kill with the Dragon Pulse even after the Leaf Storm. So I think I may have been wrong there. That's a hand up, birthday boy. Don't slap me. You give me a high five. The hand's right here. It'll be great. We'll have a great time. But I don't think we're going to be able to kill here with an acrobatics. So this battle is not over yet. When we had a chance to take out that Hydrapple, maybe it was a little scary, but we are in a tougher spot. I do think the Rubber Ducky is up for the task, but it is a little bit scarier than I thought it would be at this point.
The Rubber Ducky has been up for every task. Now, that task just got a little taller. Admittedly, I don't love that.
Ooh, if
my
I see
whole-
Fickle Beam,
my
I
whole
will scream.
Yeah, let's
Isn't Porygon 2 faster than Hydrapple, though?
all the rolls have gone in our favor. Like every
P2
time there's
should be
been a
able to
chance
speed
for
this thing.
something to happen, it's gone the way we've needed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, well that's
yeah, we outsped.
that was great.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I think we psyched ourselves out there.
Yeah.
We psyched ourselves out.
Is it 16 stat points faster in speed? Maybe.
Hey, the
Did we
nasty
have-
plot was just so confident that I just assumed, there was a reason
It
to
could have
boldly
been
go
a
for
max. It could have been max speed investment. We don't know that.
There's no way
I just was
Hydrapple
so
would ever
confident
have
I was
anything
willing
invested
to
in
trust
speed.
Kyle. Like, okay, there is a vision that you are seeing here.
But there's our guy.
Don't
Our
say
guy.
our guy. No. Hey.
He's your guy, not ours, Tyler.
Hey.
Dang it.
Hey, come on. Ben, what do you...
Ben!
Get the damage rolls! End the battle! Let the confetti fall for your birthday, Ben! The
Ben!
birthday boy!
End
bash in
it,
week
please!
one.
Thank
But you know
you!
what? This is how it should have ended, Tyler. It always needed to be the snake versus the salt rock monster. Don't you say our guy. Don't you dare say our guy. It should be
Our
the snake
guy.
versus your guy. My guy superior.
My guy.
Your guy over there.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be. We're not against each other here. We're all on the same team.
Hey man, you're saying what you're saying. I trust you. You're your own man. Whatever you want to say is whatever you want to say. I just know that we're starting the season.
These are two well-respected competitors.
We are starting this season off with a fantastic W. I'm calling it.
Yeah!
There's no shenanigans that could
W! Let's
possibly happen.
go! End it with Leaf Storm!
And this is a really
End it!
fantastic feeling, Tyler. Just watching this battle, seeing how this team operated, knowing all the other threats we have saved for future weeks. I'm not going to declare anything ridiculous week one. That would be foolish, and I'm not even in my mind. But I can promise fans nothing past the regular season. I can promise a fantastic regular season. This is going to be a lot of fun. I love low tiers. I love this team. And as we saw, it wasn't just a superior show, Tyler. I'm pretty sure every single Pokemon on our team really showed out, with the one exception being the number one overall.
Yeah, Crocodile didn't get a kill.
I'm going to say this quietly. I really hope that this turn is their superior show, because there's a chance that this doesn't kill.
Oh, I think this is going to linger longer than it should.
No,
Hey! Superior Assault Crocodile's kill, but it doesn't matter. We got the W. Let's go. Alright.
Birthday roll.
We did it! Yay! Happy birthday,
I
Ben!
think what Ben was really worried about there was just he eating a W.
Yeah, he ate the W! He went-
That's a wild thing to see. He might have been worried about the miss, because obviously we knew Garganackle is not outspeeding and sweeping the team at that point.
Yeah.
Unless I've missed something. Fantastic way to start it off. And you know what? It's time to talk to the birthday boy himself, the Beneral.
It's always good to get to chat with the Beneral, but it's even better after a win, and it's the very, very best after a win on the Beneral's birthday to start a new season. Ben, this is a very simple one. How are you feeling to start the season this way and to get a W on the day that a legend was born?
Tyler, the dub feels great, brother. Starting off 1-0 on the birthday is great. And you know, you're right. A legend was born today. Monkey D. Luffy. Shoutouts to my goat, but yes, he was born on this day. Cinco de Mayo, I share a birthday with my favorite character in the world. That's just so sick.
One Piece.
I'm happy. It's a good birthday. It's a good birthday. Starting off with that dub. I'm very happy with how the team performed. Played very great. I was making those very quick, snappy moves at the beginning. And then I started playing a little safe, playing my sacks like I normally do. But then I got caught in my head a little bit. Differential came into mind for a second, and that's why I made those place-again plays. Mainly the U-turn upset me. If I just clicked acrobatics, I 2-hit KO'd the Hydrapple.
That's what I'd be saying.
I was just like, Fickle Beam. Because acrobatics into a non-boosted Dragon Pulse from Superior, just, neutral without the Leaf Storm buff, probably wasn't going to KO Hydrapple, which sucks. If he had enough bulk, which he probably did, considering he had a Yachi Berry, so he was ready to take some hits. So I just kind of wanted to play a little bit safe around the Hydrapple, but then I immediately forgot about, what happens if I don't KO Garganackle. I'm relying on that. Because if I just KO'd it there, it was fine. But also, I shouldn't have risked the Psychic with Porygon 2 on Garganackle. I knew I was more than likely not going to kill unless I got the max roll. The 100% guaranteed win there, I just go hard place again. And then I just click close combat until I die. Because there's nothing you can do about it. Even if he goes for recover there, and then he's at maybe 75-80% after leftovers and stuff, Blaziken Close Combat brings him like all the way down to like that 20-25% again. If he Iron Defenses, he just dies to the next one. So that was my proper set of plays there. Really put myself in a scary situation where if I missed Leaf Storm, I might have lost. I think I had to miss 2, but I could be wrong. So, but yeah, I feel great. It's my birthday. Give me a birthday in the comments. Happy birthday, Federal. That's me.
This season, Playmore was lucky enough to get the #1 overall pick. And as we leave week 1, it was really the weak link this battle. All 5 other Pokemon really showed out. How are you feeling about the team overall right now, knowing that all of these other members can step up, even when the #1 overall pick doesn't carry the squad?
John, Crocodile might have been the first kill, but I don't like using the word weakest link. Every member in the team this week played a great role. Crocodile knocking off the item on Hydrapple being the Yachi Berry, so Porygon 2 could pick up the guaranteed Oko at any point in the game with the download boost is huge. Those rocks were very helpful to weaken Zebstrika. Even though they didn't stay up the entire game, which kind of sucked, they just went a long way for Croak. So definitely did his job. He was just, kind of the most, #1 to throw away kind of at that point in the game, which is what it is. I needed to sack at one point, and I also didn't have to risk, him making a double on Porygon 2 or getting the Fickle Beam and everything like that, and having Porygon 2 get too weak, because then Zebstrika could have been more of a nuisance. It would have been an entirely different game, so... yeah, Crocodile played a great part still, but I feel great about the team, man. I really love this team. It's just it is the definition of me. There is one change I'm looking to make towards week 3, but that's not anything to worry about right now. And it's not really going to change the team too much in general. But I'm just so excited, dude. I mean, a lot of these Pokemon I've used before, not just in general, but in low tier. Specifically, Blaziken and Frostlass I've used on the exact same team in low tier before. I even used Superior, I think on that team actually, without Contrary, and it was still a great MVP. We banned Contrary in that before. And, man, I just love low tier. For those who don't know, I even commissioned my own league at one point for the APA, and it was all low tier and everything. It's my favorite format, 100%. So I really hope we're able to pick up a tremendous amount of dubs this season. But at the very least, all that really matters is get that championship and start in 1-0 is a great start.
That's right, General.
So see you guys next week for week 2.
Yeah. I am so happy that the General got his birthday dub. Next week, in case y'all don't know, is against Gentleman Thomas. And he has Appleton on his team. The OG Bubby. Bubby's cousin was on Kyle A's, Dubby, and we gotta play the original Bubby next week. And also, Uzi did pick up Dipplin. So, we gotta face Dipplin week 8. But we don't have to face Flapple, because Joey Pokey Aim... Joseph Fontaine, Alexander Hamilton, Toby Maguire, Anthony picked up Flapple for his as one of his tier captains. So I'm excited. I'm definitely excited for our game next week. I talked to Gentleman Thomas, actually. I told him to bring Bubby with him. I don't know if he will. But if he does, oh my goodness. I am going to legit freak out. And it's going to be great. It'll be Bubby versus Bubby, assuming Rampardos comes next week. I hope Bubby comes next week. That would actually be dope. Of course, Appleton would destroy Rampardos, but not unless it was a Grass Terra. I actually don't know what Terra Rampardos is going to run next week if it does come, but that's not the point. The point is I will see you guys next week for week number 2. And boys, I am excited. So I'm going to go ahead and go now, but we'll see each other again soon. But, like I said, that's all I have for now. So the next time, Book Fans. Gotta catch them all!